The massive alien ship appeared above New York without warning. Its dark metal hull blocked out the sun, casting an ominous shadow over the city. People stopped in their tracks, phones raised to capture humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. Inside the United Nations building, Admiral James Thompson stood straight, his weathered face showing no emotion as the alien ambassador materialized before the emergency session. The creature stood 8 feet tall, its blue-tinted skin gleaming under the lights. 4 arms crossed over its chest in what seemed like a gesture of superiority. "People of Earth," the ambassador's voice boomed through the translator. "I come representing the Galactic Council, the ruling body of civilized space. Your world occupies a strategic position in this sector. The Council has deemed your species too primitive to maintain independent control of such valuable territory." Thompson's hand tightened on his uniform cap, but he remained silent. 20 years of preparation had led to this moment. The aliens had no idea what was coming. "You have 2 Earth rotations to surrender your world and accept your status as a protectorate race," the ambassador continued. "Resist, and we will be forced to take more direct action." The UN representatives burst into chaos. Some shouted in anger, others called for immediate surrender. Thompson caught the eye of the Secretary General, who gave him a slight nod. "Ambassador," Thompson stepped forward, his voice cutting through the noise. "Earth appreciates your generous offer. However, before you make any hasty decisions, there's something you should know." The Admiral pulled out a small device from his pocket. With a press of a button, the building's windows darkened, and a hologram filled the air. It showed Earth's solar system, then zoomed in to reveal hundreds of hidden defense platforms orbiting the planet. "We detected your scout ships 3 decades ago," Thompson said, allowing himself a small smile. "Did you really think we wouldn't prepare?" The ambassador's upper arms uncrossed, a sign of surprise or concern. "Impossible. Your species barely has spaceflight capability. Our observers have confirmed." "Your observers saw what we wanted them to see." Thompson pressed another button. Around the planet, advanced satellites shed their primitive-looking covers, revealing state-of-the-art weapon systems. "We kept our real progress hidden, knowing this day would come." The alien's skin turned a lighter shade of blue. "You dare to threaten a representative of the Galactic Council." "Not a threat, Ambassador. A warning. Earth isn't some helpless primitive world for you to conquer. We're a species that survived its own violent history, that turned potential extinction events into opportunities for growth. We've spent years studying your crashed scout ships, reverse engineering your technology." Images flashed in the hologram. Human scientists working on alien tech, test flights of hybrid ships, successful weapon tests against asteroid targets. "If you want war," Thompson continued, "we're ready. But know this, we won't just defend Earth. We'll take the fight to your council. We'll show the galaxy what happens when you underestimate humanity." The ambassador stepped back, all 4 hands raising in what might have been alarm. This changes things. The council must be informed." 2 Earth rotations, you said." Thompson smiled again. "We'll wait, but choose carefully, Ambassador. The next move is yours." After the alien vanished, the Secretary General approached Thompson. "Are we really ready for this, Admiral?" Thompson looked out at the alien ship, still hovering over the city. "We've been ready for years. They think they're dealing with primitives who'll roll over at the first sign of superior technology. Instead, they'll find a species that's had decades to prepare, to innovate, to turn their own abandoned tech against them." He turned to face the gathered leaders of Earth. "Ladies and gentlemen, what happens next will change human history forever. We can surrender and become slaves to the Council, or we can show them why you should never corner a species that turned itself from cave-dwelling primates into spacefaring civilization in less than 10,000 years." The room fell silent, the weight of the moment settling over everyone present. Humanity's greatest test was about to begin, and despite the odds, Admiral Thompson couldn't help but feel excited. The Galactic Council was about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating Earth. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Emma Wells walked through the massive underground facility that had been her home for the past 15 years. The lights from countless screens reflected off her glasses as she moved past rows of scientists working on alien technology. "Status report," she called out, approaching the central testing chamber. Inside, a captured alien scout ship hung suspended in a web of sensors and testing equipment. "The reverse engineering is at 98%, Dr. Wells," her assistant reported, handing her a tablet. "We've fully cracked their shield technology. But there's something else you need to see." Emma followed him to a sealed room where a team of engineers surrounded a glowing device. It was the size of a basketball, pulsing with a soft blue light. This was the heart of their greatest breakthrough. "We improved it," one of the engineers said proudly. "Their shield technology was good, but we found a way to make it better. The aliens never thought to combine it with Earth's quantum field research." Emma smiled. This was humanity's greatest advantage, the ability to take existing technology and push it in new directions. The Galactic Council had become complacent, but humans were still hungry, still innovative. Above ground, Admiral Thompson's voice came through the facility's speakers, announcing that the alien ambassador had just delivered their ultimatum to the UN. The timeline they'd prepared for was now in motion. "Begin full activation sequence," Emma ordered. Around the world, hidden facilities like hers started powering up. 30 years of secret preparation were about to pay off. In orbit, covered by sophisticated cloaking technology, Earth's real space fleet waited. The ships looked nothing like traditional human designs. They were hybrids, combining stolen alien tech with human innovations. What had taken the Council thousands of years to develop, humanity had rebuilt and improved in just 3 decades. "All stations, report in." Emma called over the global secure channel. One by one, research bases from every continent confirmed they were ready. In Antarctica, the quantum shield generator powered up. In the Amazon, the gravity weapon platforms came online. Under the Pacific Ocean, the mass driver arrays warmed their engines. Each facility represented a different aspect of Earth's defense, carefully hidden from alien observation. "Dr. Wells," Admiral Thompson's voice came through her private channel. "The ambassador just left. They gave us 48 hours. Are we really ready?" Emma walked to the main viewing screen, which showed a real-time map of Earth's defensive network. Thousands of green dots lit up the display, each representing a piece of technology that the aliens thought was far beyond human capability. "More than ready, Admiral," she replied. "You should see what we've done with their weapons technology. Turns out their superior designs had plenty of room for improvement." She brought up an image of their latest creation, a defense system that could turn the aliens' own energy weapons against them. "They think we're primitives who barely understand space travel. They have no idea that we've spent the last 30 years basically rewriting their technology manual." "Any predictions on their response?" Thompson asked. Emma thought about the arrogant tone of the alien ambassador, the dismissive way the Council treated primitive species. "They'll attack," she said confidently. "Their pride won't let them back down. But when they do," she gestured, and the main screen filled with simulations showing their defense systems in action. "When they do, they'll learn that humanity doesn't just copy technology. We perfect it. Their shields can stop their own weapons. Ours can reflect them back." Throughout the facility, scientists and engineers continued their work, making final adjustments and improvements. These were the hidden heroes of Earth's defense, brilliant minds who had worked in secret for decades, knowing this day would come. "Give the order, Admiral," Emma said, watching her life's work come together. "Earth is ready to show the galaxy what happens when you give humans a technological head start and 3 decades to improve on it." The next 48 hours would change everything. But unlike the Council, humanity wasn't afraid of change. They embraced it, shaped it, and turned it into strength. The galaxy was about to learn why. High Commander Rax stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. 500 warships filled the space behind him, more than enough to subdue a primitive world. Final approach, Commander, his tactical officer reported. No sign of significant orbital defenses, just their primitive satellites and space stations. Rax's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. Begin the attack pattern. Show these humans the price of defying the Council. The first wave of ships moved forward, weapons charging. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. Energy spike. The sensor officer shouted. Massive power readings from. The primitive satellites transformed. Hidden panels slid away, revealing advanced weapon systems. Earth's orbital defense network activated all at once, catching the alien fleet in a deadly crossfire. In the command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Thompson watched the battle unfold. All stations, execute Battle Plan Delta, he ordered. Show them what humanity can do. Earth's hidden fleet decloaked behind the alien armada. Their ships were smaller but faster, using modified versions of the Council's own technology. Decades of studying alien combat footage had taught humans exactly how to fight these enemies. Impossible. Rax roared as the first wave of his ships erupted in explosions. They're using our own shield frequencies. The alien commander watched in horror as human vessels slipped through his fleet's defensive screens like they weren't even there. Earth ships fired weapons that shouldn't have existed on such a primitive world, tearing through alien vessels with frightening precision. Sir, his tactical officer called out. They're weapons. They're based on our designs, but the energy output is far higher than anything we have. In the Antarctic Defense Base, Dr. Wells monitored the quantum shield network. They're trying to adapt, she reported to Thompson, switching to frequencies we haven't seen before. Just like we predicted, Thompson smiled. Activate the resonance traps. When the alien fleet changed tactics, they fell right into humanity's trap. The modified shield technology didn't just block their weapons. It caught the energy and reflected it back. Alien ships found themselves being hit by their own fire, amplified by Earth's quantum field technology. On his flagship, Rax couldn't believe what he was seeing. These humans weren't just fighting back. They were winning. Their smaller ships danced between his larger vessels, striking with surgical precision at weak points that should have been secret. How do they know our ship designs so well? He demanded. How are they predicting our every move? The answer was simple. 30 years of preparation. Every crashed scout ship, every intercepted transmission, every piece of alien technology had been studied, improved, and turned into a weapon. Humanity had spent decades getting ready for exactly this moment. Commander, his bridge officer shouted, we're losing containment on the main fleet. Their weapons are bypassing our shields completely. Thompson watched from Earth as the alien fleet fell into chaos. Ships designed for intimidating primitive worlds found themselves outmaneuvered by vessels built specifically to counter them. The Council's rigid tactical doctrine couldn't adapt to humanity's unconventional warfare. Status report. He called out to his fleet commanders. Enemy fleet at 60% strength and falling, came the response. Our casualties minimal. Their formations are breaking up. On his failing flagship, Rax made the hardest decision of his career. All vessels, emergency retreat. Return to Council space immediately. The surviving alien ships turned to flee, their neat formations shattered. Behind them, Earth's defenders held position, letting them run. Should we pursue? One of Thompson's captains asked. No, the admiral replied, watching the aliens disappear into hyperspace. Let them go. Let them tell the Council exactly what happened here. Let them spread the word that Earth isn't the primitive world it thought we were. As the last alien ship vanished, cheers erupted in command centers around the world. But Thompson and Wells shared a knowing look. This was just the beginning. The Council wouldn't take this humiliation lightly. Earth had won its first battle, But the real war was just starting, and humanity was ready for it. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council erupted in chaos. Hundreds of alien representatives shouted and argued as High Commander Rax finished his report about the defeat at Earth. Impossible. One counselor shouted, his crystalline form flashing with anger. How could primitives defeat our finest ships? The humans weren't primitive at all. Rax replied, his pride still wounded. They had our technology, improved versions of our own weapons. They knew our tactics, our weaknesses. We were outmaneuvered at every turn. In the shadows of the chamber, representatives from smaller species watched with growing interest. For centuries, the Council had labeled their worlds as primitive too. Now one such world had bloodied the Council's nose. Captain Mark Anderson watched it all from his hidden observation post. Earth's first diplomatic mission had infiltrated the Council's capital world disguised as traitors. Their real purpose was to find allies among the oppressed species. Did you get all that? He whispered into his concealed communicator. Every word. Admiral Thompson's voice came back. The Council's in complete disarray. Time to make our move. Anderson nodded to his team. They moved quietly through the city's lower levels, where representatives of the lesser species lived. Here, far from the grand towers of the Council elite, they found their first potential allies. The meeting room was small and dark. Around the table sat beings from a dozen different worlds, all watching Anderson with mixture of fear and hope. Your victory against the Council fleet was impressive, said one alien, his scaled skin shifting colors as he spoke. But why come to us? Anderson placed a small device on the table. It projected a hologram showing Earth's battle with the Council fleet. Because we know what it's like to be called primitive, to be looked down on, and we want to help you change that. He explained how Earth had prepared in secret, how they'd improved on the Council's technology. They think being advanced means never having to change, never having to improve. We can show you differently. In the Council chamber above, the argument continued. Another fleet commander was describing her own defeat while trying to raid Earth's outer colonies. Their ships appeared from nowhere. She said, they used our own weapons against us, but stronger, better. Even our newest shields couldn't stop them. The Council leaders were furious. For thousands of years, they'd ruled through technological superiority. Now a primitive world was beating them at their own game. We must crush them immediately, one counselor demanded. Send the entire fleet. The entire fleet. Another scoffed. And leave our other territories undefended. The other primitive worlds might get ideas. Too late, Anderson whispered, smiling as he watched the Council's unity crumble. In his meeting room below, representatives from 15 different species had already agreed to secret alliances with Earth. Your world gives us hope, one of them said, signing the agreement. The Council calls us primitive because we do things differently, because we don't follow their ways. But you've shown us that being different can be a strength. Anderson sent the coded message to Earth. Phase 1 complete. Multiple species ready to ally. Council showing major internal divisions. Thompson's reply was quick. Good work. Tell our new friends to be ready. The Council's about to learn that calling someone primitive doesn't make them weak. It just means they have room to grow. Above in the chamber, the Council voted to mobilize their entire fleet against Earth. But looking at the worried faces of his new allies, Anderson knew they'd already lost. The Council's greatest mistake wasn't underestimating Earth. It was forgetting that every species they'd labeled as primitive had the same potential to rise up. The real revolution was just beginning, and it would change the galaxy forever. Colonel Lisa Miller stood on the bridge of the Earth ship Thunder, watching her strike fleet move silently through space. Thanks to their improved cloaking technology, the Council had no idea they were coming. All ships report ready, her tactical officer said quietly. Ahead of them floated one of the Council's largest shipyards, where they built the warships used to terrorize primitive worlds. Remember the plan, Lisa said to her crew. We're not here to destroy. We're here to take what we need and show them how primitives fight. The Council shipyard was massive, housing hundreds of ships in various stages of construction. Its defenders were relaxed, confident in their superior technology. They never expected an attack this deep in their territory. "Begin Operation Thunderstrike," Lisa ordered. 30 Earth ships decloaked simultaneously, appearing at key points around the shipyard. Before the defenders could react, specially designed electromagnetic pulses knocked out their communications. "They're responding exactly as predicted," Lisa's science officer reported, launching fighters in standard Council formation. Lisa smiled. The Council's military followed the same tactics they used for thousands of years. They never changed, never adapted. That was their weakness. "Launch our new fighters," she commanded. Small, agile craft shot from the Earth ships. They were a new design, combining Earth's best technology with improvements on Council systems. The alien defenders didn't know what hit them. Earth fighters danced between enemy shots, their enhanced shields shrugging off hits that should have destroyed them. They struck with surgical precision, disabling rather than destroying enemy ships. First objective secured, Lisa's comm crackled. Engineering teams moving in. This wasn't just an attack, it was a raid. While the Council expected primitives to focus on destruction, humanity had a smarter plan. They were here to steal more technology, to learn more of the Council's secrets. In the shipyard's control center, alien commanders panicked as Earth troops appeared inside their stations. Using improved versions of Council teleporters, human strike teams bypassed most of the defense systems. "How are they doing this?" one alien commander cried. "Their technology. It's like ours, but better." "That's what happens when you don't get lazy," Lisa muttered, watching the operation unfold. "When you keep pushing to improve instead of thinking you know everything." The Earth teams worked fast, copying data, stealing prototype devices, and gathering intelligence. They had practiced this raid hundreds of times in simulations. Every soldier knew exactly where to go and what to take. "Enemy reinforcements approaching," Tactical warned. 3 Council battle groups. "Right on schedule," Lisa nodded. "Begin Phase 2. As the Council reinforcements arrived, they found themselves caught in a trap. Hidden Earth ships emerged from behind nearby moons and asteroids, cutting off their escape routes. The Council ships' advanced sensors had been fooled by simple tricks, things their designers had thought too primitive to worry about. "Their fleet is in chaos," Tactical reported. "They're not used to fighting enemies who can match their technology." "Send the signal," Lisa ordered. "Let's show them what else primitives can do." The stolen Council prototypes in the shipyard suddenly activated, their systems hacked and reprogrammed by Earth's tech teams. The Council watched in horror as their own unmanned ships turned against them. All objectives completed. Lisa's command console showed green across the board. Engineering teams returning with the stolen tech. The Earth fleet regrouped smoothly, their formation perfect. Behind them, the Council shipyard floated powerless but mostly intact. They hadn't destroyed it. They'd just stolen its best secrets and shown how easily they could breach the Council's defenses. "Send the message," Lisa commanded. On every Council communication channel, the same words appeared. "From Earth, with love. Thanks for the upgrades." As her fleet vanished into hyperspace, Lisa knew the Council would be furious. But they'd also be afraid. Earth had just proven they could strike anywhere, at any time, and the Council's vaunted technological superiority meant nothing. The age of calling humans primitive was over. Now it was time for the Council to learn what humanity could really do. Dr. Tom Parker stood in the grand meeting hall of the Resistance, looking at the gathered representatives of 20 different species. Each one had been labeled primitive by the Council. Each one had suffered under their rule. And now, each one was ready to fight back. "The Council calls us primitive because we're different," Tom began, his voice carrying across the hidden base on a distant moon. "They think their way is the only way. But look what different thinking has done for Earth." The hologram behind him showed Earth's victories: the defeated invasion fleet, the raided shipyard, the successful strikes against Council facilities. Each image brought murmurs of approval from the gathered aliens. "Your people have achieved much," said a representative whose skin glowed like starlight. "But the Council's full fleet is gathering. They will strike soon." Tom smiled. "That's exactly what we're counting on. Because this time, they won't be fighting just Earth. They'll be fighting all of us." He pressed a button, and new images appeared. Earth scientists working with alien engineers, combining their technologies in ways the Council had never imagined. Ships built with both human and alien innovations. Weapons that used principles the Council had dismissed as primitive. "Earth offers each of your worlds full access to our technology," Tom announced. "Not as a gift, but as a partnership. Together, we can create things the Council never dreamed of." In the back of the room, Captain Anderson watched the aliens' reactions. He saw hope replace fear in their eyes. The Council had kept these species isolated, preventing them from working together. That was about to change. "Look what we've done with Council technology," Tom continued. "Now imagine what we can do with all of our different ideas combined." The Council thinks being advanced means never changing. We know better. One by one, representatives stepped forward to join the alliance. Each brought their own technological secrets, their own unique ways of thinking. Earth's scientists worked with them all, combining different approaches to create something new. The Council's biggest mistake, Tom told them, was thinking that different meant primitive. They forgot that evolution rewards diversity. They forgot that new ideas are what drive progress. In orbital shipyards around Earth, the combined fleet took shape. Ships built by many worlds, each adding their own touches to the designs. The Council had forced everyone to copy their technology. The Alliance embraced every new idea. Energy readings that shouldn't be possible. A Council spy reported back to his masters. "Weapons we've never seen before. They're combining technologies in ways that break all our rules." But that was the point. The Council had rules for everything. How to build ships, how to fight battles, how to think. The Alliance broke those rules, tried new things, found better ways. "We're receiving reports from across the galaxy," Anderson told Tom after the meeting. "More species want to join us. The Council's grip is slipping." Tom looked at the star map showing their growing alliance. The Council thought calling us primitive would keep us down. Instead, it brought us together. Every species they looked down on, every world they dismissed, they're all ready to show what they can really do. In the shipyards, vessels of a dozen different designs flew in formation. Fighting styles that the Council had called primitive proved devastating when combined with advanced technology. The Alliance grew stronger every day. "The Council's fleet will still outnumber us," one alien admiral pointed out during the War Council. "Numbers aren't everything," Tom replied. "They have one way of fighting. We have 20. They follow their old rules. We make new ones. They think they're perfect. We know we can always improve." The combined fleet grew larger as more species joined them. The Council had spent thousands of years creating enemies. Now those enemies were working together, and they were done being called primitive. The final battle was coming. And this time, humanity wouldn't fight alone. Admiral James Thompson stood in the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, but not as a prisoner or a supplicant. Behind him floated holograms showing the combined fleet of the Alliance, ships from Earth and 20 other primitive worlds, all waiting at the edge of Council space. "You dare threaten us?" The Council leader's voice boomed through the chamber. "Our fleet will crush your rebellion." "Look again," Thompson said calmly, pressing a button on his wrist device. New holograms appeared, showing Council warships turning away from their posts, joining the Alliance fleet. The Council members watched in horror as more and more of their ships changed sides. "Impossible," one counselor shouted. "Our crews would never betray us." "They're not betraying the Council." Dr. Emma Wells stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. "They're saving it. Your own ship captains have seen what we can do together. They're choosing progress over pride. The evidence was undeniable. The Alliance fleet now outnumbered the loyal Council ships 3-1. But Thompson hadn't come to destroy the Council. He had a different plan. "We offer you a choice," he announced. "Not surrender, but change. The galaxy is too big for any one way of thinking, too vast for any single approach to be the only right one." Dr. Tom Parker activated another hologram, showing the technological advances the Alliance had made. Ships combining Council power with Earth's innovation, weapons using principles from a dozen different worlds, shields that worked in ways the Council had never imagined. "This is what happens when you stop calling things primitive just because they're different," Parker explained. "When you learn from each other instead of looking down on each other." The Council chamber erupted in argument. Some members raged against the humans' audacity. Others saw the truth in Thompson's words. The old order was already crumbling. "Your choice is simple," Thompson continued. "Join us in building something new, or watch your power fade away. Those you called primitive have surpassed you. Those you dismissed have grown stronger than you." Colonel Lisa Miller stepped forward, adding her voice. "We don't want to destroy the Council. We want to transform it. Make it a place where all species work together, where different ideas are welcomed, not rejected." The Council leader's face showed a mix of anger and fear. "You would undo thousands of years of order." "We would create something better," Thompson replied. "A galaxy where being different isn't seen as being primitive, where progress comes from combining ideas, not forcing everyone to follow the same rules." From the shadows of the chamber, representatives of the primitive worlds emerged. Species that the Council had looked down on for centuries now stood tall, proud of their differences. "The vote is clear," one of the senior Council members finally announced. "The old ways have failed us. It is time for change." The Council leader tried to object, but the chamber had already turned against him. One by one, Council members pledged themselves to the new alliance. The revolution ended not with a battle, but with understanding. "And so begins a new age," Thompson declared. "Not Earth's age, not the Council's age, but an age of unity through diversity, where every species contributes, where every idea matters." Above the Council world, ships of all designs flew together in formation. Council technology merged with innovations from Earth and other worlds. The combined fleet stood ready not to wage war, but to protect their new unity. "They called us primitive," Thompson said quietly to his team. "But we showed them that different isn't primitive. It's powerful. That new ideas aren't a threat. They're the future." The galaxy would never be the same. The Council that had ruled for thousands of years was transformed. And it all began because they made the mistake of calling humanity primitive. As Thompson looked out at the changed Council chamber, he smiled. Sometimes the best way to fight arrogance wasn't with weapons, but with progress. Earth hadn't just survived. They had changed the galaxy forever. The age of looking down on primitive species was over. The age of working together had begun.